All right. Hi, everyone. This is Pinar. I am the CEO of Timus, and today I have with me Mike Crandall. He's the founder and CEO of Digital Beachhead. Thanks so much, Mike, for being here with me.
It is my honor, Pinar. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And just before this, we were talking about how happy we were that it's Friday, right?
That's right. That's
And the
right.
weekend is coming.
It's sad how many Mondays there are in a week, really.
That is so true. I mean, I had a pretty busy week this week. I mean, obviously it's also the end of the month, so it's always busy for a vendor, and I'm sure also for an MSP. And now we have the new month. It's the last month in the quarter, so busy at Timus. So Mike, where are you based? Where is your MSP based? What do you guys do? How big are you? And is there any sector that you are really focused on versus, hey, we have one of everything?
So we're in Colorado Springs is our headquarters. We have an office in Vegas and another one in London, Ontario. We aren't that big. We're small but nimble. So I have 6 full-time and about 20 contractors working, to manage. What we provide is specifically virtual CISO services.
Okay.
And cybersecurity services to all the clients. So not only do we provide the services ourselves, or we'll work with larger MSPs that kind of need more of a security firm and sector that they might not have organically in themselves. So we're out there trying to secure the world one laptop or one PC at a time.
And even including MSPs. So if I heard you correctly, so you also work with MSPs, not only with end clients like small, medium businesses.
Yes, correct. And we gray label through the MSP to be their third-party security team to come in and help them out. Most MSPs know what buttons to push, but their clients want to know that a security person told them to push them. So
yeah, and it's interesting you say that, because what I'm seeing is that there are a lot of niches, right? There are so many variations into how you can provide many services.
Absolutely. And so we kind of focused on the cybersecurity. That's what I've done my whole career with cybersecurity. So, I thought, why reinvent the wheel? Why try to do something I don't know how to do? I'll just come back out and what I did for the federal government, I'll now do for the commercial world out there.
Yeah, and I guess it's not a bad thing to have, right? You have cybersecurity experience that you can utilize, because it's one of those things that never goes out of favor, like being a cybersecurity expert with the labor shortage and everything as well.
Yeah, and that is something we're finding is everyone kind of knows they need cybersecurity, but if you look and just Googled, give me a cybersecurity product, there's 100 million of them. So I like to focus on those I know and bring in my trusted family and then present that out to the clients. So that way they don't have to weed through the good, the bad, and the ugly. They can just come to us and we'll help them.
Yeah. And then do you bundle a lot of the cybersecurity solutions into a single thing, and that's how you go? Or do you customize it based on need? How do you approach that?
Yeah, we tend to be customizable because, every client is different. We do have some bundles. So if a client's just like, hey, I just want to know what your gold, silver, platinum, kind of arena is, great, we can do that. But I really prefer to go in and say, I don't want to give you something that you may or may not need. Give me some time to learn who you are, what you have, and then we can build a product platform that best suits your needs versus just dumping a list of things.
I guess that's the consulting approach, right? Like first you really understand the audit, hey, what's the situation now, where we want to go, and then how we can fill that gap.
Absolutely. And I think that better suits the customer because they don't just have a fee and get something. They can say, hey, we've got this budget. This budget will get us X, Y, or Z. And if we need to improve next year, we know to palm out more funds for next year.
Yeah. And do you mostly work with MSPs, or do you work with also some other clients? And is there a sector that you're more focused on than the others?
We are primarily focused in the Department of Defense industry. So all the people that work with the federal government. But I have branched out and we work a lot with manufacturing, and now we're moving into medical technology, med tech.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of med manufacturers that we work for.
Yeah. And I know that especially in manufacturing, for example, like they really need a solution like a zero trust network access. It's just that because they cannot just shut it down when they get data breaches or they get a ransomware, because like every time is money, right? I mean, it's time is money for everyone, but for some sectors, it's even more money.
One of the first questions I ask is, what do you lose per minute? Do you know what
Yeah,
you're losing per hour? And that gives us a timeline of what is your recovery need? If
yeah.
you can eat an hour, then we have an hour. If you can't eat 2 minutes, then we better have something quicker.
Yeah, and that's really the mistake a lot of the small medium businesses do sometimes in thinking that, hey, I'll just pay the ransomware. How much is it going to be? But there are so many other things that they need to think about, like the downtime, the data forensics that they need to do, the weekends, like their employees or the MSPs need to work, the burnout, and then the people leave. Like, so there's so much repercussion, the insurance premiums that's going to skyrocket if they can even get insurance after a breach.
Yeah. And I was just talking, a matter of fact, I was talking to one of your team, Jordan. We have a manufacturer that's bringing on people from South America, so they're doing offshore, lower cost for data entry, their basic stuff. And they are like, we need a solution that can allow them, that we know who they are, what they are, protect their systems. And I'm like, well, I know who to
Yeah,
call.
especially data entry. Like, my God, you really need to make sure you're protected when it comes to any type of data. And Mike, so on a day-to-day basis, like what do you do? How does your on average like a day goes by?
Oh, sometimes they're a blur. They're hard to tell. I spend a percentage of my time, of course, talking with future clients. With our current clients, we usually are going through some sort of regulatory compliance matrix and seeing where they are and what their gaps were, or working on gaps if we've already gone through it, and discussing how we can close those gaps. And then I do a lot of speaking. And then in the evenings, I teach at university.
Oh,
So
nice.
I teach intro to cybersecurity at a local university.
That's actually one of those things that I want to do in my I mean, at least if I ever get a chance, like a community college or a local college to give back to the community. That's amazing. So final question that I want to ask. So if you were to, let's say, like, hey, you're like, obviously you're in cybersecurity, is specifically that you want to work with a vendor. Like, how do you go about finding a new vendor in a certain space? Like, how do you go about that?
We have a couple different approaches. One is the typical, using LinkedIn and the social media. I like to do it with humor. I've served 20 years in the military, so I've kind of got a warped little sense of humor. And our latest video that we pushed out was like the Sarah McLachlan Sad Puppies, but instead we had ransomware users all crying because they can, and we're like, for $1 a day, we can help you, because we can. For $1 a day, we can help a small business get better. And then I speak at conferences and the typical word of mouth and marketing. But for me, it's about reaching out myself. If I can get out and see people and discuss the need and a lot of the why. Most people kind of know, or, oh, I see it on the news and I know it's bad, but
Yeah,
do I need it? So
yeah,
you have to reach out and say, you do, and this is why.
yeah. And to your point, I think it's important to do it without really scaring people, right? Because if it comes to scare, if you really want to scare people, there are infinite amount of examples right now that it's a scary world out there. But at the same time, you don't want to do like too much fear and uncertainty. You also want to balance that, right?
Because you can, and we see that. We see the people that are like, if you don't secure yourself now, oh, it'll cost you.
Yeah,
I would rather come at it with humor and say, we all know this exists,
yeah.
but join a team that'll laugh with you and protect you at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Mike, thank you so much I know it's Friday afternoon. We just talked about wine, easing into the
It's 1
weekend.
o'clock now. We have to go get our drink on.
But it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.